Grosley people will know about that. And of course, then the rivalry Orion and Northern. I was a part of that rivalry for some time with the likes of Rafferty Noel, Tall Boy and the crew. Of course, in my earlier days, Marisil used to be a force in Grosley, but Marisil, they always seemed to have problem with the laws of the game and discipline. And I remember a couple of instances Marisil being banned. But I say this to say that Grosley Town used to be the central figure for Grosley football. But now, of course, we've watched this, as you could see on my shirt, and as I did on my news and the update, the ICC Women's World T20. The preparation of the Grosley field was to host the training grounds, to be a training ground, and so the Grosley playing field could not host the Spider Cup this year. So Corinth playing field is the site of the Parliamentary Rep Cup, the District Rep Cup. So much discussion in terms of even at the governmental level about naming competitions behind the parliamentary reps. I personally have no problem with it at all. I didn't have a problem when it was Emma Cup. I didn't have a problem when it's Mary Michelle District Representative Cup. I don't have a problem with the Spider Cup. That's my take on that. And the very first game of the tournament, it featured SLSO. Moshi FC. For those of you who do not know, we take our corporate social responsibility seriously at St. Lucia Sports Online, and we figured a talented bunch in Grosley with the likes of Troy Greenage, Nicholas Taliban Lawrence, with the likes of Daniel Dennis, and so many more. The Tev Lawrence, I could go on and on. The wealth of talent in the Grosley area come together, put a team together, and of course they've been doing very, very well. It's not been easy, but we've been doing very, very well. The first game of that tournament featured SLSO Moshi FC, and it's an invitational cup. So Flow Lancers, for many of you who know Flow Lancers being part of the Castries Football League, the CFC, Castries Football Council, and they came up against Moshi FC in that very first encounter. We have some highlights from that game before you guys, and we're going to play that for you right now.
Right now the bacchanal start. Carnival, we ready. Shabozio, Shabozio. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shut down the party. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shut down. It's only trouble when we touch down. Russian in the session, now jump, jump up, jump up. We up with your big flag like a madman. Represent the best man now. Wave up. We full up our energy and we ready to ignite. Mashing up every party like a soca dynamite. Now we say go bacchanal. I want you to listen, guys. Just put your hands up in the air and everybody shout out. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shell on the party. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shell down. It's only trouble when we touch down. Russian in the session. Now jump up. We got with your big flag like a madman. Represent the best man. Now wave up. Baby girl, come wine on me. I want you to push it back. Make me get a balcony, but don't give me heart attack. This is how we celebrate. Listen to me loud and clear. Just put your hands up in the air and everybody shout out. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shut down the party. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shut down. It's only trouble when we touch down. Russian in the session. Now jump up. We come with your big flag like a madman. Represent the best man. Now wave up. Yeah, monsieur, the bacchanal is here. If you dare with me, sing the chant. Shabozio. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shell down the party. We did it, we right there, we did it, we right there, we did it, we right there. Then we shell down. It's only trouble when we touch down. Russian in the session. Now jump up. We got with your big flag like a madman. Represent the best man. Now wave up. Now show me the hand then. Put up the hand then. Let me see the hand then. Just put up the hand then. Show me the hand then.
today's game, which this, the opening of the Girls Elite Football League, and we came up against Lancers FC. You know, they are there's a team they invited to our district. You know, but this is our first time playing in the Girls Elite Football League. You know. And then, you know, I just asked the guys to go out there and enjoy themselves. Since we came off this President's Cup victory, you know, what is expected from my team is that I expect that we go all the way, same as the President's Cup, for us to go undefeated, you know, because the quality we have in that team is unbelievable, you know.
St. Stephen's, their coach of Moshi FC. Now, for some of you wondering why did we play in a ball that seemed to have been hit wide, that was actually the second goal. The net actually had a hole at the bottom, and so Nicholas Taliban Lawrence kicked that ball so sweetly that it actually went through the net. And for many of us standing in the stands wondering just now, was that a goal? And of course, even cameraman Laurie Hutchinson Jr., he attempted to, you know, replay it a couple of times to see when the ball actually went through the net. And even looking at it upon reflection, it still doesn't look like a goal. But from the reaction on the field, the referee blew it as a goal. The Flo Lancers guys didn't seem to remonstrate in any way. I figured, well, it was definitely a goal. So Moshi FC coming out on top, 2-0 in that encounter. And the second game, it featured Northern United. Now I had to go and cover mothers and daughters in cricket. So for the Northern United fans who believe that, oh my God, I just really did not want to cover the game. But it just happened that I had to do the first game, and of course there was a delay and all that sort of stuff. And I had to rush over to the Mindo Phillip Park to cover mothers and daughters in cricket. And I see my guest is here, so we're going to be having an extensive discussion on that activity, that initiative, and other initiatives undertaken by the local committee for this ICC Women's World T20. And so I had to move away from that was the first game, went over to the Mindo Phillip Park to cover the second game, and then after that moved over to the Philip Master Grounds in Viewfort for veterans. So that was pretty much my schedule for the Sunday evening. Now, let me just make sure I get this correct here. Yes, so Northern United, they came out on top. They defeated GMC United, as those of you would recall. They are the defending champions. They defeated Northern last year to actually rise to the top of Grizzly football for the first time in GMC United's career. So they came out on top. As I said, after I proceeded to the Mindo Phillip Park, and then after the Mindo Phillip Park, over to the Philip Master Grounds for some veterans football. I was lucky enough to get there in time to get the final game of the competition. But as we said last weekend, veterans football back and in full effect. We saw a classy launch, a classy press launch, and on a Saturday night, we saw the launch of the actual football competition with all the fanfare performances by the V-Tweezing boys and other Denry segment artists, including the voice of the individual we just heard a while ago. When you hear that squeaking sound, that is Ezra the Fun Machine, also in attendance. And so we took some pictures for you guys of the first and the second day of veterans football, and we're going to get to that for you guys right now.
Let me go, veterans! There is the goal! Goal! Veterans come out to play! Come out to play! Come out to play! Come out to play! There is the goal! Veterans leading the way! The veterans in town, we don't come here to clown. When you see we touch down, tell them youngsters sit down. When we on the field, don't take we for fool, cause we coming out to score our goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal! Let me go! Veterans come out to play! Come out to play! Come out to play! Come out to play! Let me score the goal! Let me go! Veterans leading the way! Veterans in town, we ready, tell them to come. Get in position for the whole battalion. I want you to hold it, veteran, we are number one. We doing what we love, that's why we are champions. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal! Veterans come out to play! Come out to play! Come out to play! Come out to play! Let me score the goal! Veterans leading the way! Home to them! You know it's Ricky T is representing for the veterans. Let me go, veterans! There is the goal! Veterans come out to play! Come out to play!
town, we don't come here to clown. When you see we touch down, tell them youngsters sit down. When we on the field, don't take we for fool, cause we coming out to score our goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. Veterans in town, we ready, tell them to come. Get in position, call the whole battalion. I want you to hold it, veteran, we are number one. We doing what we love, that's why we are champions. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. Home to them. You know it's really easy representing for the veterans. Let me go, veterans. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. The veterans in town, we don't come here to clown. When you see we touch down, tell them youngsters sit down. When we on the field, don't take we for fool, cause we coming out to score our goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. Veterans in town, we ready, tell them to come. Get in position, call the whole battalion. I want you to hold it, veteran, we are number one. We doing what we love, that's why we are champions. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. Home to them. You know it's really easy representing for the veterans. Let me go, veterans. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. The veterans in town, we don't come here to clown. When you see we touch down, tell them youngsters sit down. When we on the field, don't take we for fool, cause we coming out to score our goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. Veterans in town, we ready, tell them to come. Get in position, call the whole battalion. I want you to hold it, veteran, we are number one. We doing what we love, that's why we are champions. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. Home to them. You know it's really easy representing for the veterans. Let me go, veterans. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. The veterans in town, we don't come here to clown. When you see we touch down, tell them youngsters sit down. When we on the field, don't take me for fool, cause we coming out to score our goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Veterans leading the way, leading the way. Veterans in town, we ready, tell them to come. Get in position, call the whole battalion. I want you to hold it, veteran, we are number one. We doing what we love, that's why we are champions. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Veterans kick it and kick it and kick it in the goal. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Let me score the goal, goal, goal. Veterans leading the way, leading the way.
Alright, the veterans leading the way. I must say, in terms of the actual music, year after year, Mr. Balakan, Alvin Balakan, CEO of Veterans in Sports Inc., they seem to land the actual theme song for the competition. They just knock it out of the park. Ricky T absolutely giving us veterans leading the way, and let me tell you, that's a feel-good song. And St. Lucia, I have on the line with me the man himself, the man with the biggest sporting competition in St. Lucia in terms of the volume of matches, Mr. Alvin Balakan, CEO of Veterans in Sports Inc. How are you doing tonight, boss?
Hi, good evening, Kenson. Good evening, viewers, listeners, everybody. How are you doing, Kenson?
I'm blessed, highly favored, boss. Let me tell you, have you been able to actually, catch your breath from the weekend's activities?
No, not at all.
Talk to us.
I think after we have a chat, I might, take a good little rest, As you know, everything started last week, Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the press launch.
Our launch, and it has just been going, so, and that's what happens when you kick off a tournament. You have your press launch, and then you have to prepare for, the start of the tournament.
Yeah.
You have visiting teams, you have to get organized, give them a real St. Lucian welcome, the hospitality. They want to go to Grosley, so.
On the Friday night.
They have to do all of that.
Yeah, because they want to go Friday night and then they still have to play on the Saturday, but that's veterans.
Yeah,
All right, so talk to us. We came off the press launch. We saw a very classy press launch on a Thursday night, of course, at the Harbour Club, doing it really the way only veterans would do it in St. Lucia. Tell us, coming out of that activity, just tell us a little bit more, because I mean, my audience, they would have not gotten the opportunity to speak to you after Thursday. So just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, Thursday we had the press launch. It's what we tried to do, introduce the teams to the press. Give them, let the teams meet the sponsors. The persons really supported me, throughout this tournament. Because without the sponsors, you really can't put on a good show. A good quality event. So we got the opportunity to meet our major sponsors, Flow, St. Lucia Distillers, Peter and Company Distribution, South Shoe Store. The Harbour Club, came and supported us in a really big way this year.
Yeah.
Blue Waters, Yeah, you have to, quench that thirst,
Always with us. It's always there.
Yeah, definitely. So they got an opportunity to, just have a real relaxed atmosphere, with the sponsors. We had the support of, the PS of the Ministry of Sports, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. So it was a well-attended affair, thanks to all the teams who came out. Well, everyone, came out, and the representative from all 20 teams came out. So it made it a really wonderful affair.
All right, and there was a lot of talk about the games on Saturday, especially, of course, Era Masters from Trinidad and Tobago, really the class of veterans football in St. Lucia. They were scheduled to take on the creme de la creme in St. Lucia football, Soufre. Let's just talk about Saturday. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, well, I think probably Kenson, you and Eli was to blame for that,
Why is that?
You were joking the guys.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, but it was really wonderful. We had the Island Masters guys, from Canada, who really relaxed. From the press launch, you could see the guys were just here to enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And they, on Saturday, they came up against VSADC. And VSADC got the better of them, in our Goodwill Cup, Goodwill Ambassadors Cup. So VSADC won this encounter 1-0. And then, in our feature attraction, we had Era Masters. They're really a really good quality team. As everybody says, they're probably even the best veterans football team in the region.
Yeah.
And when you watch these guys, you don't even think they're veterans, But
exactly.
All these guys over 45, so
yeah,
and then they played a real quality game against our Gold Cup champion, Soufre veteran. Yeah, boy, this scoreline, I tell you, is I would say probably, it was a little tough. A little tough,
A little.
Yeah, a little, for me to handle, but but it was just a real good quality game. Soufre played well,
Yeah.
Really well, but the Era Masters just had this touch, this amazing feeling and enjoyment within the game, and I guess the persons who were present at the Philip Master grounds, when you would hear the talk like, wow, that is what you call good quality football, possession football, knocking it around. You know, so it was really a good exciting encounter.
Definitely. So we also had a local game. I think Miku featured.
Yeah, Miku came up against Viewfort North. Miku got the better of Viewfort North 3-1. You know, so Miku has started their campaign on a high. On a high,
they're on top of the group for now.
They're at the top of the group.
Definitely. And Miku would be playing very close to home. That would be Miku's home ground. And you'd expect, Miku is a team that, in terms of veterans football, they've not fared too badly, but they just have not seemed to be able to get across the line in the business end of the competition. But at the end of the night, of course, after all the football on the pitch, it was time for people to wind down. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, definitely. We had our live entertainment, hosted by Kidel Sony and MC Donneville. And that added a nice little feature to the tournament. We had the veteran audience, and we brought in the youth. The youth really enjoyed that part, entertaining football and good entertainment, nice, enjoying the festivities, VH in Boys, Kuya, Ezra the Fun Machine, so that went on pretty well. I think it's something that we at Veterans in Sports, wanted to bring in, that added feature. Because, it is really veterans football is really an entertainment football, so, have fun with it. For everybody to enjoy, relax, so that went on pretty well. So
absolutely. All right, and I have on screen there, we've seen some highlights of the Mabuya Valley Legends against Viewfort South. And now that was the final game of the weekend, so I guess we'll work our way back to the first game on Sunday. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, on Sunday we had a kickoff where Labrie Veterans came up against All Blacks of Dennery.
Yeah,
and Labrie looked well. Labrie, in the 8 years of the tournament, when we just started, Labrie was one of the team to beat.
Yeah.
And then, now they look like they're coming back again. Dennery has this up and down. Last year they were excellent. This year, not off to a good start, so they're hoping to regroup. Saturday in the Valley against Central V4. And that would and they'll have to regroup very fast.
Very, very fast. Who did you mention? Central V4.
Central V4.
As perennial business end players there. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's a tough ask.
They have some new recruits, so that should be real exciting.
Definitely.
And then we had Ansari coming up against Chazelle. Chazelle, look really good in the playoffs. But then
I warn you about that. I warn you about saying that this is playoffs, man.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
But Ansari is a quality team, and Senqua coming out with the first hat trick, and he looked well, man. He was running. I think he got faster this year, to be honest.
Wow. Veterans improving.
He looked fit. Ancillary, strange, this year, Ancillary looked even better than last year. That game is something, we have to go by. They are even looking better
than last year.
And you have General, not in the midfield, but in the goal. So that says a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah, General, who is probably easily one of the best players on the field. A true veteran, because General is over 50.
Yeah.
And he's seriously one of the best players in the veterans football tournament.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and then we had the Viewfort South coming up against Valley Legends.
Very interesting, because Valley Legends, you would have lost some of the services of some of their perennial players to Central Vivo. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed when I first heard it, because this is who we know as the legends of the Valley. Tell us how that game went.
Yeah, that game it went pretty well. I think I'm not too what's happening with Valley. For the past 3 years, because of the way we seed the teams, Valley is always in the group with Viewfort South. It's almost seeming like, the Raptors and Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, they just can't get past Viewfort South.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good, contested game. I think what I saw from Viewfort South, they started the game really fast.
Yeah.
But then in the second half, they lost steam. But Valley just could not, get the better of them. So they maintained the composure. You know, so it's something that, you know, when you look at the guys in Group B, you know, CARICOM, and then we have to observe everything. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, coming on. But all in all, it was a nice, you know, weekend kickoff.
Yeah.
You know, it set the tone for the tournament. You know, and we move in, you know, to Wednesday, you know, at the Marshall Ground.
Capital of Castries. Talk to us.
Capital of Castries, where you'll get CARICOM Masters coming against Prophets and Kings. Yeah, you know, CARICOM, you know, is going to start their campaign.
Yeah.
You know, and see how, you know, they can handle Prophets and Kings. You know,
Prophets and Kings
I'm not talking like an organizer.
Prophets and Kings, yeah, but they played in the qualification. We saw them play, and again, like I said, I would say to Tennyson Glasgow, and I would say to you, this is the qualifiers we're looking at. They looked okay there. They seem to be back on track. Last year, they seemed to be disorganized and that sort of thing. They just didn't seem to have that vibe about them that they were coming to win veterans. We've known that they're a team that generally could play, and they're back in the competition, so that should be an interesting encounter for you guys. Yeah,
definitely. And I think they're looking good. You know, they have some new recruits. You know, so I think probably it would be a nice little test to see, you know, at what level CARICOM Masters they are going to play this year.
Yeah,
you know, so CARICOM, you know, I know they're looking forward, you know, to this encounter. You know, in the tournament last year, they were like artists. They drew almost every match. They were not defeated. You know?
Undefeated ones.
Yeah, you know, so we're going to try and see, you know, how we can do better this year. And then we down to on the weekend, we're going to the Marbella Valley. You know, it's 3 games, you know. Yeah, on each day, you know, you'll see Soufre coming up against Choiseul, and boy, let me tell you, Choiseul, I think Soufre
have a watch to pass, as I said this morning on radio. Soufre have a watch to pass after being pretty much put in a shell. They will want to redeem themselves. So Choiseul, oh boy,
don't be Choiseul, seriously.
Neighbors,
boy, Soufre gonna come ready.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Canaries, Labry, and then All Blacks, Central VA4. You know, so it's gonna be a nice weekend encounter. You know, so yeah, we'll put out all the information. You know, so people can come out. You know, support. You know, veterans football is alive, kicking. You know, so we're gonna hit it hard this year. Definitely.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Mr. Malakan, on a very, very good kickoff on the weekend. From all indications, Saturday was great, and Sunday, well, I was there on Sunday, and Sunday seemed good as well. So keep working hard, and of course, we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Watch this.
All right. I guess I'll see you on Saturday. We'll talk. All right. That was Mr. Alvin Malakan, the CEO of Veterans in Sports Inc. Of course, congratulations to him and his team. Of course, we know these guys work very, 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 very hard to get things going for veterans in St. Lucia. A competition that spans from November, December, January, February, just 3 months of football action, veterans football action. Okay, so definitely we need to take a break. We're going to take our first break, and our first break is always a Blue Waters break. And tonight we're going to deal with aloe vera. I remember growing up, aloe in water. It used to be this purge, but we can do certain things with water and aloe in moderation to ensure that we just get the health benefits of aloe, and without getting the harshness of an actual purge. So I was doing some research on that, and I read some articles for you. I always encourage you guys to speak to your healthcare practitioner about your ability to consume the water in a particular way that you are being advised. And so I did some reading on the health benefits of aloe infused water. All right, and I mean infused. I'm not talking about letting it set forever, just infused water. And some of the properties that you will see, of course, it's a detoxifier, and 8 ounces of flavored aloe water contains about 30% of vitamin C. Now, I did not know that. You can actually get a good dose of vitamin C from drinking aloe vera infused water, and we know vitamin C builds the immune system. It helps to fight from infection, maintain healthy bones and teeth, and aids in wound healing. It's one of the benefits of aloe vera. All right. It also acts as an anti-inflammatory in the digestive system, to be specific, and that makes sense considering most of the purges and cleansers, they would tell you consume aloe. But if you do it in moderation, you can still get some of the digestive properties that comes along with it. So it helps you to treat constipation. So rather than go and get some medication over the counter, you could just have some aloe water. If you have not had a proper bowel movement for a while, it helps to treat constipation and of course heartburn. A lot of us fight with heartburn. It will actually help you with that. Inflammatory bowel disease, also something that it helps with gastrointestinal. It improves gastrointestinal function, so that makes sense. All right, aloe vera water in your diet. Of course, like I said, talk to your doctor before drinking aloe vera water to be sure that it interacts with whatever other medications or whatever he prescribes, he or she prescribes to you. All right, so you definitely want to be careful how you consume anything recommended to you. And of course, when you do consume your water, your aloe vera infused water, I always recommend the best brand for you guys, and Blue Waters has been along with us. They've been along with us for a while now in terms of our pursuit of promoting water consumption in St. Lucia. With that being said, we take a Blue Waters break.
Blue Waters, 100% bottled in St. Lucia. So take a local Blue Waters break.
It's the right time now. This is me time now. Everybody has in the air. Eyes watching them, eyes watching. Time to get them ball bashing. Wicked smashing till we win.
The ICC Women's World 2020 is coming to St. Lucia, November 10th through the 18th. Tickets start at 10 EC. Corporate packages are also available. Get yours at icc-cricket.com/world 2020.
Every new start, oh yeah, to help you succeed. You need a bank with a heart, with all that you will need. BOSL, every step of the way. BOSL, every bright new day. BOSL, every step of the way. BOSL is all the bank you need. BOSL.
Veterans in Sports Inc. and the St. Lucia Football Association join forces to bring you the 2018 to 2019 edition of the Veterans Football Tournament. One tournament, 20 teams, 2 champions. The battle for the Caribbean Alliance Gold Cup starts on November 3rd and ends on February 9th, 2019, under the theme Leading the Way. It's a massive kickoff weekend at the Philip Masley Grounds on November 3rd and 4th. On Saturday, it's Veterans Football like never before when Island Masters Touring Team of Canada takes on our Blade champions and 3-time Gold Cup champions, VSADC. And in the primetime matchup, undisputed regional and international Veterans Football champion Era Masters of Trinidad, featuring Earl Bollock Shaw, Titus Titi Elba, and Elijah Joseph take on our Gold Cup champions, Super Veterans, in a regional cup challenge. Gates open at 3 p.m. on Saturday, followed by a live musical explosion featuring Hollywood HP, Ezra the Fun Machine, Mata, Migos, Booyah in the building, and the V3 Boys. Then on Sunday, matches continue from 3 p.m. Come see teams like Beaufort North, Miku Veterans, Labrie Veterans, Laborie Connection, All Blacks of Denry, Valley Legends, and home team Beaufort South kick off an explosive Veterans Football Weekend. Admission only $15.
Something good, something rich, something really, something max, something up, do you feel me? And my might and my strength, yeah, and the power over those who challenge me, yeah. I know you are stronger, oh, and you know you go longer. Just live your life day by day, stand firm and just conquer. That's what I'm talking about, Triple X Stout.
All right, welcome back to 758 Sports Talk, and we definitely have to do the sports class moment. Very intriguing one. That one was chosen by Mr. Michael Moses, and I'll just leave it as that. If you don't know who Michael Moses is, that is okay. This one was chosen by Mr. Michael Moses, and it goes back to before I was born, Brazil versus Italy World Cup. Let's take a look. Yes, Brazil defeating Italy. I know one individual who is Italian, as Ibrahim from Grosley, would be gutted looking at those highlights. But Mighty Pele, the great Pele, sorry, Mighty Pele is a Calypsonian, the great Pele, greatest footballer to have ever lived, featured in that matchup. And of course, they won that World Cup. We have another video for you guys, but that video is to do with what we are here to discuss tonight and what you see on my shirt. For the rest of the week, St. Lucia, from since Friday, It's not like it's only one shirt. I have other orange. It just happened that I only got orange shirts. You'll be seeing me in this shirt until Saturday evening, and the World Cup, until the World Cup gets here. But we have another video for you guys. A lot of you have not seen this video, and I think it's time. The time is now for you to watch this.
And the West Indies, for the first time in their history, have won the Women's ICC World T20 title.
It's the right time now. This is we time now. People, put your hands in the air. Trace again. Come raise the flags up now. Ladies standing proud. Everybody hands in the air. Eyes watching them, eyes watching. Time to get them ball bashing. We keep smashing till we win. Boundaries be broken and we grinning. Turn up, turn out. We jumping, roaring and shout. It's a woman's world and history is hers. Let's go.
Wow, watch this. And I'm looking at this video and I get chills running up my spine, similar to when I hear Rally Round the West Indies. When I hear the West Indies anthem, it does something to me emotionally. And watching that video, let me tell you, I'm ready to watch this simply. And without further ado, somebody told me earlier, Sandusha, if you see this little bit shifted hair, somebody discreet messaged my phone to tell me they not see my shirt properly because the blue waters is blocking my shirt. Now, the good thing about the blue waters, these people are not envious people. They are jealous. Yeah. They would gladly allow the ICC Women's World T20 and their organizing committee, including the venue manager, Eddie Squee, to have their way just for tonight.
And the venue manager, right?
Eddie Squee. And without further ado, Mr. Rankin Morgan is here again, the sportainment, marketing and sportainment manager for St. Lucia's version of the ICC Women's World T20. How are you doing, Rankin? How are things going? How are things going?
Everything is great. You know, thanks for having me here. You know, this would be our last interview, I guess, you know, but that doesn't stop us from pushing the tournament, which is starting this Saturday at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, you know, 10th of November, with Patrice and Shensia performing, you know, gates open at, well, they performing around 2, so everybody has to be there early. Our first match on that day is at
One second. I don't know if Rankin saw what just happened. Junior is something else.
What do you do?
Junior just superimposed a large photo of Blue Waters in the background. And we'll be back. Yeah, but what is you know they're watching Junior, so yeah, we're good. Sorry about that. Yeah. All right, so
but we're excited, you know, and again we just, giving our push the final days.
Yeah,
you know.
Definitely. Now let's just go back to when let's just go earlier, and we are actually just a couple of days away. How much work have you guys put into marketing this competition?
We push, you know, from day one, right? From since we came back from Antigua, from our briefing, we started to push from June, you know, as soon as we got back here. And, you know, we had our launch on July 26th, right, at the Constitution Park, where we erected that bat right there in the center, you know, and that was our first activation, right? And from then on, we never stopped. We just pushed. We continue to be all over St. Lucia on every single talk show, whether it be radio or even on television. We also, you've seen our giant billboards as well, the bats, right? So we have one in Vieux-Fort, right, one in Dennery and the other one in Bordeaux. And we just put up our last month we put up our billboards around the island. So, you know, we just continuously pushing. We have our flyers given away. We did our road show one a week ago in the West Coast, and Saturday just passed on the East Coast, right, and MAD, which was yesterday. So we're just pumping, you know, we're not giving up, and we're going to ride down to the wire, to the end. Yeah,
and of course you will glorified invite us to the biggest sporting event in St. Lucia. Another initiative that I thought was just absolutely brilliant.
You know, so you have to thank Blackheart for that. You know, they are a huge supporter, right? And we did enjoy the games as well, because I think we were at every single one, you know, so and everyone there more or less appreciated our efforts. People came out, they took pictures with the bat as they've seen on your program. Even when you were not available, people knew exactly who we were and our purpose. So we did enjoy those activations.
Definitely. SPL, I remember SPL. even at social events, perhaps a foreigner coming to perform with you all there as well.
So definitely SPL. We had many games. We went on in Soufrière, also Roots and Soul Festival. We were at Mercury Fest. We were at Bliss. You know, we just try to get in everything, you know, just to get the word out, because we know that it's the first ever standalone, right? Women's T20 were run by the ICC, so we had to give it our all.
Definitely. Let's talk a little bit about the road show, the first one. I was definitely a part of that one on the West Coast. How did that go for you?
So the first one, well, personally, that was my favorite. Right? It went very well. We went through Ancillary, Cannery, Soufrière, and then Labrie. You know, we touched those communities. We played games with the individuals in the communities. Then Sammy was along with us, right, which gave it a nice little boost. And we gave away tickets, you know, while we play our games, wickets for tickets. We also did lucky dips and stuff like that, you know, to give people the opportunity and a chance to win tickets, you know.
Definitely. All right, we're going to talk about the second road show in a bit, but for now, we mentioned MAD a couple of times. We're going to have a discussion about MAD. We're going to have a discussion about MAD, but first, let's take a look at Mothers and Daughters in Cricket. That was held yesterday, Mindoville Park. Very, very nicely organized activity. Let's take a look at what happened.
MAD was mad.
It's the right time now. This is we time now. People put your hands in the air.
Today we have one of the